Welcome to another St. Pete by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the heart of night, we rise from shadows, howling at the moon, igniting our battles, cleansing Gaia of an endless fight, until our final days we will fight. Thanks, man, we stand united as one. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the brave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Everywhere we run, the wind is at our back. All the warring forces we will track. From the depths of the ocean to the clouds in the sky, vampires tremble as we learn to fight. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the brave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Everywhere with the pack, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide. Rock will never hide.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network. St. Petersburg by Night is a World of Darkness role-playing community originating in St. Petersburg, Florida. My name is Kent, also known as Misha Kent on all social media, and I will be your storyteller tonight. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Hounds, our Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition chronicle set in Tampa Bay, Florida, where a pack of young guru have traveled from Michigan to assist the Sept of the Evening Star in combating the forces of the worm, both physical and spiritual. You can follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media listed in the description down below, and you can join our community by following that Discord link where you could take part in one of the many activities we have running all month long. We are now offering for players to run or play in 20th Anniversary or Chronicles of Darkness games as well, so head on over and join our community today. Now, let's introduce our players. Players, go ahead and introduce yourselves if you please.
Hello, everyone, or ba, as my people would say. My name is Nikki, and I will be playing Delphine's Ruin Speaker, the Silent Strider Theurge.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jay, and I'll be playing Forge from Failures, Bonar Rune. And what are we? A bunch of has-been guru?
Hey everyone, what's your favorite scary movie? Just kidding. My name's Lilith, and I'll be playing Juniper Kameen, Ragabash Black Fury.
Hey everyone, my name is Ben, and I'll be playing the pack leader, the greatest fairy princess, Raymond Gorn, Ghost Council Philodox.
And if you couldn't tell, it is our very special Halloween episode of Hounds. What that means for our sweet, sweet pack of misfits remains to be seen. Are they prepared? Are they ready for what awaits? We will find out. But because it's Halloween, we should remind everyone about our Halloween giveaway, which has one more day left. If you have not entered into that giveaway, you are going to miss out on some amazing prizes. So don't miss out. Go enter right now and get into that contest, because the field is wide open and the chances of you winning a prize are very, very high. But before we get to talking about tonight's story, let's take a look at that ad one last time. You read that right. It is our first ever giveaway, and what better time to have a giveaway than the spooky season. My name is Kent, and I'm the founder of St. Pete by Night and the storyteller of both Rage Across Tampa and Hounds, and it's time for our Halloween giveaway. So let's get into the details about this giveaway because it is a big one and you're going to want to participate. First, let's take a look at the prizes. Our grand prize winner is in for a Werewolf starter pack, and that comes with a Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition core rulebook, a character journal, a full dice set necessary to play the game, and a handmade crocheted dice bag courtesy of our friends over at Chromatic Creations. And if you aren't selected for the grand prize, don't worry because you are in for a great runner-up prize. 3 of our runner-ups will receive a full dice set necessary to play any World of Darkness game and a handmade crocheted dice bag courtesy of Chromatic Creations. So those bags you see on the screen, one of them could be yours if you're a runner-up in this contest. So you're probably asking yourself, how do I enter? Well, there's many ways you can enter into this contest, including visiting St. Pete by Night on YouTube, submitting a video about your favorite Tampaverse character, joining our Discord on the link down below, following St. Pete by Night on Instagram, commenting on the Instagram photos, and following St. Pete by Night on TikTok. But wait, there's more. You could also submit a TikTok about your favorite Tampaverse character. Follow St. Pete by Night on Blue Sky. Like, repost, or reply to our Blue Sky posts. Share a post using one of the hashtags St. Pete by Night, Rage Across Tampa, Tampaverse, or SPbN Halloween. Plus, there are bonus entries if you're a Twitch subscriber, so subscribe to Twitch. But of course, it wouldn't be a giveaway without the important legal jargon, so let's get to the important stuff. The giveaway runs October 7th through November 1st, 2025. You must be 18 or older and a US resident to enter. Winners are chosen at random through Gleam and announced on YouTube and our social media. The contest is free to enter, no purchase necessary, and it's not sponsored or endorsed by YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or Blue Sky. See full terms and rules with the link in the description. That's right, that contest ends at 11:59 on November 1st, so you have just over 24 hours left to enter into that contest, and believe me, you're going to want to do so. But let's get to the matter at hand. Let's get to the reason we are all here tonight, Hellhounds. Last week, we saw Raymond and Juniper have a bit of a heart-to-heart, trying to connect a little bit more, though while one is on the rise of redemption, the other seems to be on a steady descent. After that, they ran into Aspen at the cairn, who had some very important words for both of them and an assignment for Juniper that she would be taking over the task of creating the cold iron spear that should hopefully take down the shambling vined creature that is the biggest threat so far. Then we saw Delphine and Forged also have a heart-to-heart where Delphine truly let it all out, or at least some of it, most of it, a bit of it, in a very emotional outburst while they were investigating the ruins of a hive that nobody so far had taken credit for. Upon their investigations, they came to find that the ground had been completely purged of any infection. It had been cleansed of any corruption. And then upon further investigation, they also found a bullet casing and a cracked glass vial that smelled of holy water and actually burned Forged when he tried to touch it. Then after that, the pack got together with Stakes Her Claim, who has recovered enough to be able to be active once more, and they made a plan going forward to scour the area to try and find more information about where this infected vampire might be. But with that all being said, let's get to our first scene. In our first scene of the evening, we find Delphine alone at night, somewhere within the bawn of the cairn. Delphine, you've been struggling with a problem for the past several weeks, probably one of many, to be completely honest, but the one we're focusing on tonight is the haunting ghosts of your parents, the ones that have been following Juniper, their murderer, around and making her life difficult, to say the least. But it's not only her life that's been difficult, it's been yours as well, as you have struggled with guilt, you've struggled with resentment, you've struggled with loss. And upon the advice of many, many respected individuals, including spirits, you have been told the best way to get rid of the ghosts is to say goodbye in the formal and official way. So that's what you intend to do. Why don't you tell everyone what preparations you've made and what's going through your mind as you prepare to attempt this rite?
So Delphine took some of the stipend money that she's been getting from the will to buy a 12-year bottle of Macallan Scotch. She's dressed herself a little bit more less comfortable and more nicer. Like, she's still, like, her clothes are still very much covering her from, like, every inch of her skin, but she's made an effort because she knows that her parents were not one for like slouchy and gross dressing. She's feeling a little apprehensive because the last time she confronted her parents was a lot. They were very malicious. They were they were poking at her and Juniper, and the best way she could describe it was just mentally attacking both of them. So she is a little worried about that aspect, and she's also never performed a rite of the for the departed. She, even though she is a silent strider, she hasn't really had to deal with much loss since Hell and since arriving in Tampa. Her parents are really the biggest loss she's suffered, and now she is feeling that nervousness about finally falling into some of what's expected of her as a silent strider.
Responsibility has always kind of been a difficult thing for Delphine, but she has been attempting to learn, attempting to get better with Charles's tutelage and with the heavy, heavy weight of being the pack theurge and all that that means. So as you prepare, the scene is yours.
She's gonna find a nice area where the moon is coming through. She picked this day specifically, not just because it is her moon in the sky right now, but because it is also her 21st birthday. What would be considered the milestone of adulthood in her life. She's gonna find a place where the moon is shining, even if it's just a sliver of it in the sky. And she's going to stand in the very center of it, and she's going to activate her penumbral senses to start the process of trying to at least see them for when she starts to call for them.
Okay. Finding a patch of open grass where there's a break in the trees. Are you doing this in the clearing of the cairn, or are you looking for something a little bit more remote, a little bit further out?
I would look for something more remote, but I would have made a point to at least let Eliza know what she was attempting tonight, just so that way, in case something bad happened, an elder is aware that bad things could be happening just outside because the baby theurge is trying to be responsible.
Okay. So you do find a place where the trees part just enough to let the light of the moon form a pool upon the grass. You lay out the implements and you begin your rite. Let's go ahead and start with a composure and resolve check as you try to make sure that you are steadied in your heart and in your mind, having re-upped just enough to keep the shakes away.
That would be 4 successes.
Okay. So as you feel your heart slow, as you take deep, steadying breaths, how would you like to call out to the spirits of your departed parents?
She'll take a deep, steadying breath, just letting the night air. It's starting to cool now with winter around the corner, but she's letting that cold air fill her lungs a little bit, and she'll take a deep breath out. She'll like do a slow exhale, and she'll look at the moon for several moments before just looking into the shadows of the trees specifically, associating the shadows more with the dark umbra, where the Shadowlands, where they seem to the type of spirits her parents seem to thrive. And she'll just softly call out, "Mom, Dad, I thought we could talk. Please come out."
Go ahead and make me a charisma and persuasion roll.
Okay. That's just 1 success.
For a long while, everything is quiet, silent, still. Your pleas hang in the air, seemingly unanswered, not responded to. You try a couple of more times, asking for them to appear, asking for them to come. And then the light of the moon starts to dissipate as clouds pass over. In the umbra, shadows start to coalesce, drawing together, becoming more and more potent. They begin to surround you in a circle. All alone. All by yourself. When you put out the call, who did you expect to answer?
Do I see the source of the voice?
Right now, it just seems to be shadows surrounding you.
I'll tense a little bit, gripping the neck of the bottle a little tighter, and just dig my heels in, stand my ground. I'm seeking the spirits of my parents.
Where do you think they are? Perhaps a toast to them would do the trick. Why don't you have a drink, Delphine? Go ahead and roll me a wisdom and resolve.
That's one success.
At this point, your skin starts to itch. That very familiar, all too familiar itch as the drugs inside you dissipate, leaving you itching, fiending, desiring more. Come now, have a drink. It'll make everything better.
She can feel her body shaking with the withdrawal symptoms that I assume that she's feeling. And she'll stare at the bottle for several moments, contemplating it, but she does want to resist because this isn't even what she actually wants. That's not gonna make it feel better. And through gritted teeth, she'll just be saying, "It's not for me."
Who else could it possibly be for? There's no one left. You made sure of that.
If you are a spirit, I would ask that you declare yourself. What are you?
The shadows start to gather and coalesce into a singular entity. And as they melt away, they reveal a mirror image of you. I am what you are. I'm your deepest desires, your needs. And don't you need it now more than ever?
Like, it's a perfect reflection of me.
It is a perfect replica, yes.
Delphine will immediately look away from it.
Come now. Don't you need to feel whole? You haven't felt whole in a very long time. And we know just what we need to fill that void. Don't.
She's shaking a little harder right now. And she feels the need to put the bottle down just in fear of breaking it from how anxious and upset she's getting at the spirit that's talking to her. And she'll start fidgeting with her sleeves. You're not who I am here to speak to.
Oh, but we've been speaking, haven't we, for years now. It's only when we don't speak that things go wrong. It's only when we don't speak that we are unaware of what the others around us are doing to us, doing against us. As you lower the bottle to the ground, you feel that you can't release it. Your fingers have a vice grip on the neck of the bottle. Take a point of willpower damage.
Key. I have 2 willpower left before I have to start taking ag willpower damage.
Take the pain away. Take the guilt away. Take the anger away. That's what we do best, isn't it?
She'll just kind of she will have gone into a crouch to lower the bottle to the ground, so she's still kind of like just in that crouch, just staring at the bottle that refuses to detach itself from her hand. And she'll look up finally at the spirit masquerading as her and just glare at it a little bit. Again, you're not the one I'm here to speak to.
I'm the only one you speak to anymore. But if that's not our preferred method of numbing ourselves, we do have what we need, don't we? Just reach into the pocket and take it. Take all of it. Give me another wisdom and resolve.
This one is better. This is 4 successes.
You feel like you can resist, but in doing so, you will have to take another point of willpower damage. Also, as you're fiending, don't forget you have -2 to your rolls.
Okay. Should I re-roll then?
Yeah, let's go ahead and re-roll that.
Three successes.
Okay. Yeah, you can still resist, but instead it's 2 points of willpower damage.
All right. I'm going to stand up now, and I feel like I'm sweating at this point, and just white knuckle grip and very tense. But I will look at the spirit. I will look at every aspect that it is imitating of me. I will look at the gaunt features. I will look at the baggy clothing, trying to hide just how thin she is underneath it. I'll look at the hair that's dull and lifeless because her body isn't healthy as a result. I'll look at the little bit of bloodshotness in the eyes, the chapped lips. And I'll start walking over to it.
As you approach, your legs feel heavy, like lead is in your feet, dragging them along the sand and dirt and grass. Give me a strength and athletics to try and force yourself to move.
Could I try to go into Glabro, sensing that it is trying to fight me?
I would say because of the successes on your roll, yeah, you could.
Okay. I did fail my rage check, so I'm at 1 rage now. And let me switch to the one reactive I rarely use. So then it's a strength and athletics, you said, right?
Yep.
Four successes.
Okay. Pulling yourself forward, your feet dragging along the ground. You muscle up the strength until you are face to face, inches away.
I would like to reach out to touch it and use Mother's Touch, and I will take the aggravated willpower damage. I'm trying to kind of like I know it's not going to heal it, but like it's like a cathartic healing that Delphine's trying to do. She sees herself, she sees her reflection, she sees her pain, and she knows that it needs to be healed, and her only instinct in this moment is to just reach out to herself and use a Mother's Touch on it.
Okay. Go ahead and make the roll.
Three successes.
As you reach out and call upon your gifts, you find your hand just passes through. You foolish girl. You know that gift doesn't work on ourselves.
She'll stare at her. She'll stare at the spirit of her reflection, and she just sighs and just leaves her hand kind of suspended there. But that's what we need, isn't it?
No. This is what we need. And the spirit reaches up and grabs your wrist. And you actually feel a grip tighten on your wrist. This is what we've always needed. And you feel one of the fingernails pierce into your skin, directly into a vein in your skin. This is what we've really. Give me a stamina and resolve.
Four successes.
How many points of stamina do you have?
I have 2 dots of stamina.
As you feel the tingling numbness start to go up your arm, your vision starts to get hazy and woozy. But it also feels incredible. The best rush or high you've ever had, topping that of your preferred drug of choice. But also, you lose a permanent dot of stamina.
Oh no. Oh fuck. Is
I
it
told you, this is what we need. Doesn't that feel so much better?
Does my rage go up?
Sure.
Okay. Delphine will she'll just like she'll feel her knees buckle just a little bit, and trying to stay standing, but like feeling the numbness and the fluidity of that sensation going through her. And she is feeling tears gathering, like pulling at her eyes right now in this moment. And just staring at herself sadly and wondering if this is how everyone else sees her in the moment, and feeling some shame from that, but also just feeling relief at whatever it is that's going through her bloodstream right now, because it is making the shakiness go away. It is making the pain go away. And she'll keep staring and just ask, "What are you?"
I told you. I'm you. I'm what you've been for a long, long time. Isn't this better? Isn't this what we've always wanted? To stop hurting? To stop feeling?
You're hurting me right now.
No. You are hurting you. And as you look down at your arm, you see that it's not the spirit gripping your arm, but you holding a syringe to your wrist, pushing the plunger down slowly but surely. This is what we want. This is what we need. At this point, another voice enters into the conversation. You wanted to stop. I can make it stop.
She'll tear the needle out of her arm and kind of throw it.
You can't.
I can't?
Nope.
Oh no. I will.
With your lack of willpower,
Yeah.
you can't.
Okay, no, that makes sense. It makes sense. She'll turn and look at what she knows is theirs, the wolf.
Just say the word. Just say please.
She'll stare at Fenris and is shaking once again, not because of the drugs, but because of just fear. She's always been scared of Fenris ever since Hell and ever since she first met him. And she'll feel that little bit of strength that she still had in her legs kind of give out and kind of be on the ground now. And she's kind of just looking straight at him, kind of very much a deer in the headlights sort of sensation.
The other spirit, the mirrored version of you, calls out, "This is none of your business. She's mine." That's up to her, isn't it? Just say, please. Please help me. Please save me. Please.
How far am I away from the cairn proper? Would you say?
You're probably, to find a spot like this, a good 700 or 800 yards away.
I'm kind of going to just shrink a little bit down into myself, and as I'm curling up, I would like to shift into my lupus form.
Okay. Dropping down to the ground, you shift into the bone-thin, almost skeletal pup form.
And as I shift into this very mangy looking wolf dog, I'll throw back my head and I will howl. I will howl as loud as I can.
Give me a composure and resolve.
Do I have do I have a penalty just because I do have ags?
You are still in penalty, yeah. Now the drugs that are numbing you are having the same effect because it's not your drug of choice. It's something much worse.
Three successes.
As you raise up your head to howl, you feel it choke and catch in your throat, coming out as a dry, raspy whimper, barely audible. How much longer will you let this continue?
Her ears will go flat and her tail kind of tucks between her legs as she's just kind of just shivering on the ground. Her ears flicking, her ears kind of twitching between the voices, like her right one to the mirror spirit, her left one to Fenris. and she whimpers in a way that is indicative of her just begging them to leave her alone.
That's right. Leave us alone. Let us do what we do best. She doesn't want your help. She's beyond help. She said so herself many, many times. Very well. If this is the path you choose. And the wolf. Yeah.
Can I don't know how like if there's a role for like trying to determine how much like between the two bad spirits between me, which one seems worse? Because they both seem really, really bad.
Give me a wits or an intelligence and occult.
Okay, yeah, I was like, is there some kind of cult roll or something? Does the Umbra specialty come into play at all?
Yeah.
I will take another point of ag willpower. Four successes.
As bad as Fenris is still of Gaia. This other thing you're combating screams worm, screams bane. In fact, you can pretty confidently say it is a bane of addiction.
Okay. As Fenris is turning away from her, she looks up at the spirit, like the bane of herself, and she kind of then just whips her head over to Fenris, and she'll like let out like a bark that almost has a bit of a whine to it. Just pleading, pleading that like in a way, just almost like a begging.
The wolf turns, but stops and looks over its shoulder. I hear you. And with that, the wolf leaps over you and tackles the other spiritual version of you, rolling across the ground and pinning it. Everything has a price. And with that, he bites down upon the head of the spirit and tears it away. And as soon as he does, it dissipates into almost like a smoke, separating. You feel that numbing, tingling sensation that's been crawling through your entire body pull back, releasing itself, leaving you sober and fiending, but not affected. However, as you gain that point of stamina back, you gain a point of Hoglosk.
Damn it, I was doing so well.
At this point, your vision of the Umbra also dissipates because simultaneously you lose the wolf and return to human form.
Okay. Is that a stain towards
That is
Hirano
a
or
stain towards Hirano in this case, because that is your inner fire going out.
Okay. Spooky night, spooky vibes. Let's go. She'll feeling herself like kind of like opening her eyes and looking down. Instead of seeing paws, she sees her just very thin shaking hands. She'll slowly stand up and she'll look towards the cairn. She'll look towards the cairn, just struggling to walk. She'll stumble a lot, but she's never lost the wolf before. So this feels very bizarre to her to not feel that part of her anymore. She doesn't feel the rage anymore. She doesn't feel strong anymore. Because even though she would consider herself physically the weakest of her pack and probably the entire sept, she still felt stronger than she does right now. Right now she feels fragile. Right now she feels human, and she hasn't felt human in a very long time, and it is very unnerving and a little scary for her, because now all she can think about is how vulnerable she is.
As you struggle to make your way back towards the cairn, you find that the leadness in your feet has lightened. Everything that was holding you back before has lightened, except for your own physical need. You do weakly collapse to the ground a few times as you are crawling, dragging yourself back toward the cairn. Eventually, you reach the edge of the clearing of the cairn proper. And there to greet you is Eliza. Eliza rushes over, finding you entering into the clearing. And she quickly gets down onto a knee and starts to help you up. Delphine, darling.
I don't think Delphine would even let Eliza pick her up. I think she's just so shaken by the experience that she kind of just instinctively just wraps her arms around Eliza's waist and is kind of just going down to the ground, not too scared to move and just needing some form of reassurance. Her whole body is just trembling, and she didn't even realize, but she's just panic, those panic attack breaths.
With your heart quickened, the breath almost burning at your lungs as you can't get it. You can't get the oxygen you need. Your vision starts to swim once more in a completely different way. But as Eliza starts to sing in a language you haven't heard before, you feel yourself calming and the breath returning as the soothing song hits you. But as you calm, your vision darkens. You lose consciousness, lulled to sleep by the song. We find ourselves at the cairn the next day. Forged, you have been trying to seek revenge for all of the injustices you have suffered, those that you know about, and maybe even those that you don't quite yet. Knowing what this infected leech can do, knowing that it can snuff out your fire or stoke it even higher, you realize that there are some tools that you are going to need in the fight ahead. But where can you learn it? Where can you learn the Song of rage. The song to allow you to combat the putting out of that fire. The Galliards. This is their specialty. Songs are what they do. And unfortunately, with Rory's departure, the only Galliard you know and have access to is Malicious Jester, the Elder. After the last few interactions with elders, you've found that it's coming easier and easier to work with them. As long as you can keep your cool, as long as you can maintain your composure, you can cease from making an ass of yourself or possibly getting yourself in more trouble. But the real question is, how long can that last? So as you enter into the clearing of the cairn, you spot Jester. Now, Jester, what are you up to?
At the moment, Jester is training. I believe at this point it would be with Charles, like one-on-one, which is very intense. Usually there's a little shit talking that she does, but at this point there is no shit talking. She is just focused on trying to land a hit, which, much to her annoyance, Charles is constantly dodging.
As Forged approaches, Charles catches one of your swings and spins you around almost in like a dance fashion until you are facing Forged.
It takes a lot of mental power from Forge not to laugh right now. He's holding it back very hard.
She will give a half snarl at Charles spinning her around, and then her attention will land on Forge and she'll relax for a moment.
I believe you have a visitor, Charles says. And then he releases his grip, but you feel a small tap on the ass as he pushes you forward.
Step forward, close her eyes as she's panting, run a hand through her hair, and then take a long breath. What's up?
The Forge will have hands in his pockets right now. He's trying to look very nonchalant, very casual as he looks, looks around for a moment, looks you up and down, say, well, I just was in the cairn stopping by, and, I heard about the whole fungus leech bullshit, that they had some weird powers involving, our anger and shit. So I heard that you Galliards have powers to mess around with that. So I figured, stop by, maybe see what chat a little bit about it.
She'll tilt her head for a moment, thinking, and then dawn on her, and she'll cross her hand. You want to know a song?
Yeah, I mean, I could learn a song or two. It's probably not that hard, right? I mean, just a couple, little talks. You could probably figure it out.
Can you even sing? Or are you just gonna like scream at people?
I mean, I can sing. I mean, look, I'm pretty good at, singing. I got pretty good at the guitar. I mean, not. I think I can rock karaoke night pretty good.
What do you want to do with the song? Do you want to make people angry? Do you want to calm them down? What do you want to do?
Well, I mean, I want to make people pissed off. I mean, that's kind of more important of the two, right? I mean, if we lose our anger, then we're kind of just useless sitting there, like, doing nothing when we're most vulnerable, right?
Or you let the anger get to you.
I mean, it did happen, but it sounds like the lesser of two evils to get too mad than to get, lose all that mad energy. Kind of. I've been through it once or twice, not having the anger inside me. Kind of sucks ass. Would hope to avoid that again if.
Afraid you're nothing without the anger?
Okay, when we get into therapy talk here, look, I'm just trying to ask for learn a simple song, all right? I mean, it's not that complex, right? Not that deep.
Oh, yeah, not that complex, not that deep. Sure. Chill. Nod. All right. Fine. You gotta prove yourself, though. Look to Charles. I'm gonna go on an adventure with Forged. I'll be back later.
Wait a second. The last time you went on an adventure, you were gone for a week to the Deep Umbra.
Well, I'm not investigating any disappearances of fellow Garu, and I don't plan on going into the Umbra at all. I could text you the address when I have cell signal, if you're that concerned.
No, I'm more concerned that you're going to end up making a guru disappear on this particular outing.
I'll be nice.
Sure. Go ahead.
Besides, isn't he a rune? Like, he can protect himself. He can handle himself.
Yeah, I'm probably like the second strongest here. Charles is probably the only one that can beat me up. Probably.
Strength isn't everything. And she has a clave.
I mean, just don't get hit. That simple, right?
Let's go. Her face will get cloudy as she looks at Charles and then just walks off. I need to clean up, so give me about 10 minutes. Meet me at outside the cairn where my bike is.
You see Forge nods as he takes his hand out of his pockets as he'll start walking away. You can tell like his hands are actually a little sweaty. He's feeling a little nervous right now, especially when he saw Charles. That's when he especially got nervous. Charles and Jester in the same area. He was not expecting that as much or wanting that, but he's walking away now, kind of a little nervous and dreading what this little mission could be.
So as the two of you part ways, Jester, you go clean up, and about 10 minutes later, you both meet at the motorcycle.
Is this like a typical like guru thing with everything that you got to do a trial to get like anything around here? I'm telling you, last time Badger was not very kind with his mission. Hopefully, it's not going to be as painful.
Maybe, or maybe I'm just fucking with you.
You'll see like stares at you for a moment, kind of like trying to actually tell, is she fucking with me? Kind of looking you up and down.
Just has a smirk on her face. That's it. All right, she'll climb on the motorcycle. Get on. You got a ride, bitch.
Well, I know how to. I mean, I could just meet you there, or I can. I mean, what if I drove? I know how to drive.
Oh, she'll point to the motorcycle. This? Oh, no, no, no. The person who gave me this would probably come back to haunt me again. So, no.
I mean, I've done it plenty of times, and I want everyone to know that I'm actually out of character. I'm lying out my ass. I have never driven a motorcycle. Or it's just we'll walk up, kind of like look at it, like yeah, like patch it a few times. I'm telling you, certified pro.
Give me a manipulation and deception. Jester wits and insight.
What's my rage at, by the way?
I would say you're probably at a 1. Despite the like nervousness of the conversation and everything, you're not too fired up at the moment.
What's my rage at?
I would say you're also at a 1 right now. Actually, probably a 2 from the training with Charles because it was frustrating.
Don't worry, audience. Got a grand total of 2 successes. We're in it. We're about to win.
I got 3 successes.
He's lying. He doesn't know a damn thing about motorcycles.
When he pats it, it's not a pony.
You look down to it. What if I'm just trying to appease the motorcycle spirit?
I don't think it likes its ass grabbed, so, maybe stop, being a weirdo creep and just get on the bike and let's go.
You'll see he looks down and actually contemplates whether spirits, if he grabs the opposite in a way, he's grabbing a spirit's ass. Or he realized that that's not a train of thought he wants to go down, as he'll just shake his head and regrettably ride a bitch.
As you climb onto the motorcycle, Jester kicks the engine into gear, and the two of you take off down the road. About an hour later, we find ourselves inside the private room of a karaoke bar, one located in Ybor City, funny enough. One of Forge's favorite places to be. You can hear the muffled sounds of people talking beyond the private room door, and you can hear some occasionally off-key singing coming from the other room. But because of the reservation made and the money paid, the room is private and it is all yours.
Can't say it's what I expected when you started talking about testing and trials and all that. I mean, like the place though. I heard pretty good things about this place.
It's on my circuit. I have a few that I frequent. Sit down and start looking at the menu. You want anything?
Am I paying?
No.
Oh, great. Okay, then I want some mozzarella sticks. Can we get some onion rings on top of that? And they serve burgers here? All right, give me a burger as well.
Do you often just not eat?
No, I mean at the house, the budget's not the greatest right now. I have to spend on the important things like chips, ramen noodles. So I don't really get to, get them nice things every now and again. It's also it tastes even better when someone else is paying for it.
She'll kind of tilt her head and nod. Yeah, that's fair. Also, you know how you could fix that. You get a job. I'll place the order.
Wouldn't that just get in the way of being a guru? I mean, or sorry,
We're okay
woodland
here.
worker. Oh, okay. Being a guru, it sounds like it would be really, getting in the way of stuff. So I'm trying to make sure I'm free as I can be for Gaia.
That is the most bullshit answer I've ever heard.
After
Forge will laugh.
After about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the food comes and the employee leaves the private room.
Okay. So, what gets you pissed? What makes you angry?
I mean, to be honest, what shit doesn't get me pissed off these days? I mean, it's I get pissed off from the people being annoying, people bitching at me, from having to deal with stupid shit all the time, from the bullshit of some of the people we're facing, just almost anything, really.
So, you problems. You get pissed at you problems then.
No, not just me problems. It's you'll see he likes take a seat to eat his food, and as he does, he'll lean forward as he's saying this, taking a bite of a mozzarella stick. It's more than just that, you know. it's There's just a bunch of bullshit in the world, you know, and it's annoying. Deal with it 24/7, and people expect you just take everything and not, you know, complain. Have a smile on your face while they ram you up the ass, you know?
She'll chuckle, take a drink of our soda, grab an onion ring. Oh, I know really well. Okay. Fine. I'll show you first. I'll stand up, select a song, and wait for it to begin. The song is an In This Moment song, which is a metal band with a female singer known as Maria Brink. So there's screaming, there's a lot of heavy guitar and drums in the song that she will sing. And as I am singing it, I will use Song of Rage.
Okay. Go ahead and make the roll. What'd you get?
Anyways, I failed the rage, but I still haven't. That brings me down to 1 at the moment, and I got 3 successes.
Okay, the test is difficulty 3, so you make it. Forge, you increase by a rage as you feel the song emanate at your core, stoking the fire within, causing it to burn even stronger and brighter.
I like to imagine, like, as I'm hearing this song, the thoughts that what I said it makes me angry, what's pissing me off now was just kind of like filler answer, you know, the trying to not give too much away and more just saying, you know, keeping up the persona that he has been having this whole time. But as he hears this, he can't help but think of the injustice that has happened to his friend, the almost mocking face of that blonde-haired bitch that killed his friend, the loss of his kid, the fact that he tried to do the right thing and it felt like he was punished for trying to help. And it feels all the thoughts kind of come in, and he feels that anger swelling as he'll like start like headbanging towards the song.
So eventually the
Oh.
song comes to an end.
Oh, I was going to say also, just for your reference, I will gain a rage because of Luna's blessing. So
Gain a rage
because
as well.
I sang, yeah, since I performed a song, yeah. Step down. So invigorating. All right. Now, do you feel it?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty pumped up by that. That wasn't bad. Yeah.
Okay. So take all of what you are feeling towards those people that annoy you and towards like the people that have hurt you and like the anger and all. Take it all. And I want you to sing and project it to me. Not that you want to hit me with it, but you want me to feel what you're feeling.
It's you like think about that for a second, trying to understand what that means as much. Kind of struggles to grasp that, as you'll say. So trying to, it's like cause I know the Rite of Rage, and that one is like kind of like a mosh pit. Like I get everyone kind of going, get everyone hyped up. Is it kind of like that vibe where normally we just kind of hit each other and everyone gets all angry, but this that sounds like a little different. You'll kind of like trying to comprehend.
It's a bit different. With rights, you tend to do like specific actions and things like that that help build that up. This is taking what you have inside you and sharing it with someone. Um, there's a reason, like, we share the songs because they're ours. They're our people's, like, passed down through generations, through centuries, because, like, that is like it started out as a howl and has become a song as like Garu have blended wolf and human. But with those things, we convey feelings. Think of it, go back. Okay, so you're feeling those things, right? Like
Yeah.
you like have pinpointed them inside you. You know why you're feeling, or you know you're feeling them. So, what song matches? In this list of karaoke songs, what song matches how you're feeling?
See, he looks at the list and he's clearly struggling at this moment. Not exactly because he doesn't know what he's feeling, but at the moment of I have to share essentially what I'm feeling now to someone I don't really feel all that close to right now. And it's something that Forge has always struggled with. So this is kind of a moment as he's contemplating what he should say, what song he should pick. As he'll say, I didn't think this whole like I thought you guys just kind of like made up songs and just sung them. This I didn't think it was all about like sharing feelings kind of shit. It's not exactly my easiest thing.
Forge, give me a wisdom and resolve roll.
Wisdom? Oh,
Yep.
no. Well, I got you. This is just 2 rage dice. I got a brutal outcome.
Okay.
Do you want to know my verbs? I don't know if that would exactly help here.
Oh, it's not going to help. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I figured.
At this point, a voice starts to enter your mind. Your voice. Your inner feelings. Come on. We have so much that we're angry about. Hell, we're even angry at her for being in charge, for dragging us here, for making us go through all this bullshit. Just teach us the fucking song. Why are we even bothering with all of the extra? We've got work to do. We've got revenge to seek. We've got a need to fulfill. Stop wasting time. Take a point of aggravated damage to your willpower.
Ow! Jesus. You see, like, Forge is, like, looking at the song. He's, like, clicking on the scroll button, constantly scrolling down more and more. Each push getting clearly more frustrated as eventually he just kind of stops, stares at it, and lets out a very frustrated sigh as he'll slam his fist into the screen. Maybe not hard enough to crack it, maybe not, as he'll just sit there, eventually just saying, It's It's just bullshit. Why do we have to do all this shit here to like the whole lesson thing? It's just a song, right? What, do I just gotta sing that song and it'll be fine? Look, I can do that. Like get up on stage or like get up the microphone. It's like, look, just was it, Roots or whatever? Let me get back.
She'll cross her arms and watch him.
They'll eventually go back to the song that she played, and it's like, all right, fine. Look, here we go. I'm gonna do the whole thing, and he'll play it still very, not really invested as much into this, but still very pissed off as he will try and copy what she did.
Give me a charisma and performance, but -2.
Oh boy, that's a 1 die. At least I can't brew on this. I failed. 0 successes.
The sound that comes out is just a screeching, half-hearted wall of noise. Nobody feels anything other than maybe annoyance or disgust, maybe hurt ears, but there isn't any other feeling to come from it.
She'll rub an ear at the end. So, you were lying about being able to sing too?
Clearly you probably just taught me wrong. Look, I did what you said. I sang the song and it should be working. Why isn't it working?
I picked that song because it's personal to me. Which means I could easily pull up feelings I felt, especially anger, and I could make you feel it. This is the lesson. I can't just be like, sing a song and you'll be able to do it. You have to figure out how to do it, and I'm trying to tell you how.
See, the frustration is building, but part of it is not at Jester, but it's more at himself for not being able to get it. Because it should be easy. It's just singing, but for some reason he just can't get it right now, and it just builds up more as I feel like at this point he would just.
If you break anything in here, I'm sending you the bill.
He's actually just gonna start. I think just start with a yell into like, not even to the mic, but just in general. Kind of yell out as he then just starts saying, "You know what's fucking bullshit? You want to hear about shit that pisses me off? You want to hear all the bullshit going on? Fine, I can tell you here, and we can go through all this shit. I gotta deal with the fact that my fucking kid got taken away after I tried helping my baby mama out. I tried telling her everything. I tried being like, hey, here's all the shit that's going down. Let me do the right thing. But turns out, good deeds go unpunished. No good deeds go unpunished. You just get fucked over for trying to do anything good. And I'm sitting here, I lost my fucking best friend, and that bitch is still out there, just walking around, having a great old time after just killing him, turning him into a weird fucking creature and blowing him up, and we're not even doing anything about it. I don't get to do anything. I'm stuck here, wasting my time on this training bullshit and all this other shit, these trials, when I could be hunting her down, getting what we need to get done. But no, I'm stuck here having to waste time on this useless shit and dealing with everyone else's fucking problems because no one else can get their shit straight. Everyone else having their own little meltdowns over the most like mundane shit, it feels like. And yeah, I have to be here, the strong one, holding everyone together like a piece of glue, because who else is doing it? not Ray, not Delphine. I think would fall fucking apart if she had any more responsibility put on her. Juniper, she just doesn't even know how to fucking talk to people. I don't think she knows. And yet I'm the one having to do all this shit. And I'm also the youngest out of everyone here. Like, I'm the kid here. I'm supposed to be chilling. I'm supposed to go out and have a life. Like, most people my age be going to college, and I have to hold together these fucking people and do all this shit. Why? Why do I gotta do all this? Why would I chosen to do this? It's not fucking fair.
Jester, give me a wits and insight.
Three successes.
As you're listening to Forged, you can feel the pain that's coming from all of this. You can feel the anger that's coming from all of this. And it's honest. It's true. But it also seems a lot more intense. It seems like he went from 0 to 100 pretty quickly. Something feels off about the whole situation. Like you knew he was going to get angry. You knew you were going to poke and prod at him. That was the plan. But this happened very quickly, even for him.
Like Hoglask or something else?
Hard to say. I mean, Hoglask is a state of kind of constant anger. So if he were suffering that, he would probably be like this all the time. But this was intense and sudden, like an outburst.
Take a moment. Then reach in her purse and take out the aura shades. And put them on as he's going through his everything.
Give me a wits and awareness. Actually, let's make it wits and occult.
One success.
It's hard to tell exactly what's happening, but you do notice that Forged has a shadow, has something surrounding him, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
Frown at it and then put the shades away. It's a lot, and it's not fair. She'll actually get like a weird little smile. A lot of this isn't fair because we're losing. And so the unfairness just builds until it's a massive pile of shit.
The only reason we're fucking losing is because of elder guru like them. Can't get the job done.
Forge, like right now, after his like tirade, like breathing heavy, just really pissed that he's trying to compose his thoughts and think what he's going to say next, as he'll just say, well, when are we just going to stop losing? When are we going to not just accept losing at this point and actually do something about it? Because it feels like we're just laying down and taking it. We're just like dying dogs here, just waiting for the final kick.
A lot are. We're not here. All of us here are actively trying to do something to make change.
we could just tear out this bullshit by the roots. We could, like, isn't Piney Point still around? That's been around for how long now? We could have probably gone over there and burned it to the ground already, or just, you know, beat the shit out of anyone that worked with all the evil people. We probably known how long we've known of them. I mean, the people, those fucking bloodsuckers are still sticking around. We haven't kicked their ass yet or kicked them out of town. There's so many shit like still going on here. It just feels like we're doing nothing, and that's not what I'm here for. I'm not some diplomatic fucking leader. I'm a warrior. I thought that's what we all were. Warriors. Meant to beat the shit out of things that need to be beat the shit out of.
You know, wars aren't just fought physically. And the wars that are won aren't just thought about physically. Piney Point has an entire, like, corporation behind them. You know, those things that pay money to the government to, like, make the rest of us stay in our place. The vampires in the city are using the government, the police, and all that. So yes, we could just run in there and turn rah-rah giant twisted monsters and, like, try to tear them apart. But then we have the fallout to deal with of all the other people and the police coming and the humans coming to hunt us because we're big monsters. It's happened before, by the way. Like, a long time ago. I don't even know when, because we fucking forgot, like, what year this happened. But we all got in our, like, big primal hubris that humans were bad and they should all be torn apart, and so we hunted them until they figured out to hunt us back. And they found out silver hurt us. That's why we don't say what we are.
So what, are we just gonna just sit here and just try and talk our way to a nice, good solution with the people that are controlling the government that want to use them against us, for the corporations that are paying for everyone to get fucked over in the end of the world, that we're just going to talk with them?
Fuck no. I mean, unfortunately, we have to with the vampires at the moment because we need the iron, which will make the weapons to kill the things that are out there that we're trying to destroy, the plants, the zombies. To take Piney Point, which is covered by those plants, by the way. We've done several scouting missions on there. It's covered by plants and banes. It's why we haven't run in there full tilt with the 6 of us trying to tear it apart. It's got guards and banes and fucking plants all over the place. We have to have a plan that will be successful and not just destructive, because that's what the worm does. The worm is destruction. If we play into it, we're just feeding into making things more unfair.
You see Forge kind of almost reaching a high point in his frustration, very visibly angry as
Scream. Scream at me. Scream all your feelings at me. Make me feel it.
He'll look surprised by that for a second, kind of caught off guard, before taking a moment and just letting out just a primal, just deep, guttural yell, just trying to just, if he can, just almost expel or just convey all the deep-seated anger and frustration he has in one deep yell.
Give me a manipulation and intimidation.
All right. I have more than one dice. Yay. That is 5 with a crit.
Jester, give me a composure and resolve.
I also like the flavor in a way, like, I think Forge is trying to let Jester know of, like, how he's feeling, if that makes sense. Like, this is like a yell and attempt to just convey how deeply frustrating and unfair this is to him.
Absolutely.
3 successes.
Okay, Jester, take a point of superficial willpower damage as the scream is intense and overwhelmingly strong. Yes, let it all out. Let it. And then the voice is cut off as it stops suddenly. There is a time and a place for this. You aren't helping. The other voice, your voice, speaks back. It's been building up for so long, and we've had nothing to do with it. Enough of your games. They are mine, and I will direct their anger as I choose. Forged, you feel some of your anger settle and dissipate as that presence is pulled away.
Yeah, like the yell goes on for a moment and kind of like starts dying down more and more until eventually just Forge's throat gets so raspy, so torn by this, that he can't help but stop as he starts panting, breathing heavily just from all that. As he'll say, it's just so fucking unfair.
Jester will hide her shaking hands for a moment and turn away. It's always unfair. But are you going to cry about it, or are you going to try to do something about it?
I'm gonna do something about it. I have to. For not even for me anymore. It's for other people. For fucking Duncan, for my kid. I have to.
As you look down at the pad and the list of songs, you find your fingers hovering over a specific song. War Pigs by Black Sabbath. Almost without any desire or control, without any self-control, you push the song and the heavy metal anthems start pounding through the speakers. Go ahead and roll me a charisma and glory as you start to sing along with the song.
I'm going to use a willpower. Just got 3 successes.
Both of you gain another rage as you feel the song enter into yourselves. The rage stoking, the flame burning brighter and higher.
Forge just letting, kind of just conveying the anger now, just all the frustration feeling, and also just kind of also conveying the anger and pissed off about just the voices constantly in his head, feeling like no one's trying to tell him what to do, but he's just fucking tired of it. Tired of people trying to tell him what to do. Someone thinking that they know what's best for him. That it's time for him to decide. It's him to decide what he needs to be, what he needs to do.
You feel control. You feel centered amidst all the chaos and rage that is starting to stoke up inside you. You actually do feel in this moment in control of yourself, that there are no outside influences playing games, that there are no external forces. You are powerful and you have power.
And I think like by near the end of the song, when the song ends, for surprisingly, Forge has a smile on his face. He stands tall, even though he is conveying his anger. He's not letting it crush him. He's not falling to the weight of it all or letting it control him. He is him, and he's not defined by it right now. And he just feels this sense of satisfaction from letting it all out and letting someone else finally being able to let someone else understand what it means.
Throughout the song, Jester will be clapping and like mouthing and singing along, and then at the end she'll let out a like loud whoop and a cheer and clap. Very good.
Man, that's actually pretty nice. Why didn't you tell me it was this good beforehand?
You gotta feel it. It's hard to explain.
He'll go down, sit down, and grab some mozzarella sticks, take the bite out of them with you. He'll look over and delay for a second for saying this, but says, "Thank you, Jester. I appreciate it. It's been a rough fucking couple weeks, months."
Jester will stare down at the food menu, kind of just like running her fingers over it. Yeah. It's not your fault, you know. What happened to him? You may think it's your fault. Back of your mind going over and over again. Because they knew you. They got hurt. And why? When like someone like you doesn't deserve all this is fine, but someone like them gets hurt. But it's not your fault. It's the one who did this. They chose actively to hurt your friend. And they chose it to break you. Prove them wrong.
Do you ever stop feeling like it's your fault? Does it ever go away?
It took a lot. I was not in a good place for the longest and felt like it was absolutely everything was my fault. But it took a long time, and people who cared about me constantly telling me that and helping me focus on who the blame belonged to. Now I just have to be patient that they will get theirs.
It's kind of funny, actually. Don't tell the others. I've said this shit. Don't want to ruin my image, but I was always kind of, I don't know if to say pissed off or just didn't feel right that when I had my first change that happened after I was getting stabbed to death by a couple dudes that I screwed over. And I thought, I didn't really deserve that chance. A guy like me doesn't deserve that kind of shit. Doesn't deserve to be given a second chance like that. Kind of always felt like I had made the wrong choice there, but I don't know. It's hard to explain, I guess.
Not really. A lot of times I felt like I didn't deserve it. Definitely thought there were people I knew that were much better suited for it. But Gaia chose us for a reason. Maybe we didn't see it, but it's there. I think for you, it's starting to show. You just need to keep having faith in yourself.
Like a mentor once told me, fake it till you make it, I guess. Commit to the bit.
Did Charles say that shit?
No. I don't think Charles know what the word bit would mean at all. I think that would give him a hemorrhage if he tried to comprehend modern internet shit these days, but nah,
He's learning.
Oh god, he's learning?
It's a slow process.
Why are you gonna corrupt our man like that? That's
'Cause it's fun.
I swear, if I ever hear Charles say Sigma or Skibbity, I think I will die on the spot. I think it will end it all right there.
New goals.
As the two of you have had this moment, have shared this moment, you feel relieved. You feel a calm wash over you. Not a supernatural calm, just a calm of understanding, a calm of relating, the furthering of a connection. And as the two of you spend about another hour enjoying the karaoke room, singing a few more songs, having a few more laughs, this is where we go to break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the second half of tonight's story. As we return from the break, we find ourselves in a car driving through the streets of Tampa. Raymond, you just had a grueling training session with Charles to try and let out some of this anger that's just been constantly building up inside of you ever since your conversation with Ember. Unfortunately, Charles didn't let you get a hit in this time. And in fact, he returned with several hits of his own, which, well, that may have been frustrating and angering at the time, it also reminded you of your place in things. It reminded you that there is a long road to go if you want to be a powerful guru. That being said, as you have climbed in the car and begun the drive home, Charles is silent for a good portion of the drive, but then looks over to you. Raymond, you're still carrying a great deal of aggression around.
I will kind of side glance to Charles and, without saying anything, kind of look away and just nod. Because everything that's happened in the past couple of weeks has built up. And the offer that Charles gave of, releasing some of the anger with him, it's helped, but a lot of stuff has been happening recently that I just can't really find an outlet for. And so he's not wrong. I've definitely been holding a lot in. And so, kind of staring at the road as we're driving by after nodding and staying silent for a bit. Yeah. I mean, do you expect something different?
No. I expect exactly what you're feeling, what you're giving, considering everything that you're going through. But I think there are some clear distinctions that need to be made. Yes, you're allowed to be angry. Yes, you are allowed to feel hurt by everything that's happened. But you mustn't blame yourself. You mustn't blame yourself for Red. You mustn't blame yourself for your friend.
At that last statement, I will clench my jaw a little bit. I know Charles is the only person that truly knows what's going on, but having it spoken out loud is a little weird. It's a little much. And if I can't blame myself, then who do I blame? I mean, at this point, I've left Red completely, potentially hurt, which potentially caused him to be distracted during the mission. It may not be true, but, you know, on something like that, the slightest bit of hesitation could have led to his death. And I've spent a long time trying to fix and help Jordan. And I have ideas, I have thoughts of how to proceed, but how do I go about it? I'm just prolonging it. And at this point, I need to help him. I need to save him.
I think your need to make up for what you think is a wrongdoing on your part has overcome his need to be helped. I think that you are blinding yourself with guilt and anger. You want to know what to be angry at? It's the same thing we've all been angry at. It's the same thing we were made to be angry at. The worm. You're not wrong that a loss of focus could turn the tide of a battle. But from what I've heard of that particular battle, it wouldn't have made the difference. An army of the worm's forces descended upon them. A literal army. Even in one's full confidence, even if I had been there, I would have only bought a few minutes. You can't blame yourself for what the worm does. You can only blame yourself for how you let it affect you, how you react to it. This guilt you're feeling is only going to invite more pain, more anguish, pains. You are carrying around the weight of the world. And you're doing so alone. I know a little bit about that. But it wasn't until I started sharing that weight and facing some very hard truths that I could meet my full potential. If you really are concerned with helping your friend, you need to put your own need to help aside and truly think, what would he want?
I think about what I do and how it affects him every moment of every day. And I can't truly know what he wants me to do, how I can truly help him. Because the Jordan that I have been trying to help, every time I talk to him, every time I have a discussion with him, I know he's still in there, but the voice that comes out isn't his. So how am I supposed to know how to help him if I ask a question, I don't know if it's him answering. I've only seen and heard him truly a couple of times. I'm going off of what I think is what he would want. That's all I'm doing.
What did he say those couple of times you heard him?
I'll look down at my lap, my hands clenched tightly together. He said he was in pain. He said that he was hurting. That why was he like this? What happened to him? He was confused. He said he wanted it to be over, and I want it to be over for him. But I want to be able to save him to have it be over. I want to bring him back.
With as bad as it sounds, as far along as it is, this is a bitter pill to swallow, Raymond. There's very little left to bring back. The sacrifice you would need to make, the cost, there's no guarantee that what you bring back is truly him.
You and Ember are saying the same thing. And I said it before. If there's even a chance to bring him back to the way he was, even if the odds that I can actually succeed are less than 1%, I still want to try.
That's the point, Raymond. You won't bring him back as he was. He will be changed, different, affected. He will not be what you remember. Because what has been done to him has ripped his soul apart, ripped his mind apart. And even if you restore him, the damage has been done. He will still carry the weight of what happened to him, of what he did because of it. And you'll add the weight of the cost to bring him back to that. Who is this for, Raymond? Him or you?
It's for him. I'm trying to bring him back. I'm trying to get my friend back.
Your friend. Your friend is gone. What's left behind is a shell. A shell that is slowly being consumed. He is Fomori.
No, I mean, I just talked to him not even 2 weeks ago. He's still in there. He is not gone. He is not a shell.
Been learning a lot about the media I ignored most of my life. Jester has been showing me movies. There's a quote from one of the movies she showed me. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing you he didn't exist. You believe the one speaking to you is Jordan. You believe the one you've been interacting with is your friend. What is a Bane or a Fomori going to do but make themselves do anything they need to survive and to take you down with them? They are playing on your guilt. They are playing on your anger. And the more time they spend here, the stronger they get. The more control they get.
I understand. I understand that at times it could be tricking me, it could be coercing me. I understand that. But I can't give up. I can't. I can't.
It's not giving up. It's accepting. There's nothing to give up. The fight is lost. What you can do is honor their legacy and make their loss not in vain. The situation is very, what is it they say? Ohio?
I will just stare at him. Because I don't know how to respond to that. And I'll stare for probably about 20 seconds at that last word. And then choose to very hardly ignore what he just said. Um, to me, it feels like giving up. Because if I don't follow through, if I don't succeed, then what was it all for? I just spent a year and a half caring for him, trying to find solutions, lying to everyone I know. And what all that effort is just wasted.
No. It's not wasted. You have a good heart, Raymond. You want to leave no man behind. It's your training. It's what's been bred into you since the day you were born. That is the burden of leadership. But a good leader knows when the fight is over. You spent the last year and a half learning that terrible lesson. So nothing was wasted. But you haven't been helping your friend. You've been fostering the worm.
So what am I supposed to do?
Do what he asked you to do.
I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if that's something I can do or decide.
And share the burden. There is no greater showing of trust than admitting your weakness and letting another help you.
But, I mean, would they even understand?
Surprisingly, yes. They all fight their own battles, Raymond, and some of them are as bad, if not worse, than yours. No one is perfect. No one can be expected to be perfect, not in this life. And this is not going to be the last sacrifice you'll have to make. Don't make it alone.
I don't know.
You do know. You just don't want to accept it. You are losing yourself in this grief, in this anger. You are leaving your pack without a leader to fend for themselves. You can't only show up when you're supposed to. You have to always be there. At least in their minds and in their hearts. You want them to respect you? Show them. Tell them. Let them help you. Or continue to drift until eventually that bond breaks. Whether by force, like being distracted in a very important moment, as you said yourself, or because they lose the ability to trust you.
I don't answer when he's finished, because he's right. I mean, I should have told them sooner. I could have gotten more help. I could have done more with them than by myself, but I can't openly accept that right now. I can't openly agree, because the pain of that agreement would be just too much. So I'm just going to remain silent.
Charles allows the silence. as he returns to focusing on driving. After a while, roll me a wits and awareness.
Is it sight-based?
Yes.
Seven successes.
It's at this point that you recognize you're not headed home. In fact, you are driving to downtown Tampa. Where the border of the kindred territory meets the rest of the world is where Charles pulls into a parking lot and stops the car. He climbs out of the car and begins walking over toward an individual standing nearby. The individual has a hoodie on with the hood drawn very far over their face. Charles then reaches into his suit pocket, pulls out an envelope, and passes it to them. They exchange a few more words, and then Charles returns to the car.
During that exchange, could I try and figure out what this individual potentially looks like and maybe what I heard them say?
With your wits and awareness of sight, I can tell you that the light shining, the little bit of light shining underneath the hood, reveals a withered mass of a chin. Almost a disgusting, ugly lower half of a face. As for hearing the words, you were unable to pick up the conversation.
What was that all about?
Information. We may not be able to see what's going on in those borders, but there are others that do. And with enough incentive, they will tell you.
That's good to know.
Sometimes we have to make compromises. But in the long term, I know which side I'm fighting for. And I'll do what needs to be done to get victory.
I'll kind of look at him and just study him for a few seconds and then just nod my head.
Then starts up the car and begins driving, this time in the correct direction of home. What's going through your mind after this interaction with Charles?
I know from my previous conversation with Charles that he's very direct and doesn't hold back when he's talking, no matter what the topic is. And the things he said and the things he pointed out, like I said before, he's not wrong. And there's always been a little voice in the back of my head saying what he's saying exactly now. But I don't want to listen to it. But maybe it's gotten to the point where I actually have to listen and follow through. It hurts. And I don't know if I can go through with it at this moment. Because I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
As you finally arrive home, late into the evening, Charles looks over to you as you prepare to climb out of the vehicle. One of their city went missing about 6 months ago. A gangrel by the name of Benjamin Forbes. He worked as a security guard at the fairgrounds.
Okay. That was not something I would have been able to find out. At least not soon.
Now you know what I paid for.
It was worth the money.
Make sure of it.
I will.
He then lets you leave the car and pulls away. And that's where we transition to our next scene. In our final scene of the evening, we find Juniper and Stakes Her Claim out on the east side of the city. Juniper, you were told to look for odd behavior in animals, especially by Stakes Her Claim. So the two of you, using her expertise and assistance, head out to try and find anything out of sorts, especially in the area near the hives. Stakes is dressed in loose-fitting attire, but it's a hoodie that she's pulled the hood up to try and obscure the ruined eye in case you do come upon anyone else. As the two of you move around the area, alternating between Lupus and Hamid form, go ahead and roll me a wits and investigation.
What is my rage at?
Your rage is going to be at, we'll say a 2 as you're going into this.
Five with a crit.
Okay. Looking around, it takes a while for you to pick up anything out of sorts. But eventually, something does catch your eye. As you look up to the sky and you see a flock of birds moving in a very purposeful way. Not with the typical bird-like behavior. They are moving with a focused goal in mind, all of them together, flocked, moving in a specific direction.
I do a little to stakes, but don't say anything more, and wait for her to look at me before I point up at the birds.
She looks and then looks to the sky. You should follow.
I nod my head and turn into lupus form to follow the birds.
Following your lead, Stakes also shifts into lupus form. And as the two of you follow the track of the birds, give me a dexterity and stealth.
That's another 5 with a crit.
Okay. Going into the darkness, almost melting into the shadows, the two of you prowl in a very purposeful course, following behind the flock of birds up above. Being as it is so late in the evening, you know that birds like these shouldn't even be out, let alone this active. But as you follow behind, you find yourself making a kind of southeasternly direction. Eventually, you come close to the highway, and the two of you duck underneath, going over under an overpass, following a storm drain, until eventually you come upon a very, very open piece of land. There's not a lot of trees in the area. It looks like it's been cleared out, but the most notable feature is the amphitheater off to one side. It's quiet and it's dark at this time of night. It doesn't even seem like there's a concert or event happening, possibly for another few days. It's surrounded by a chain link fence, and it is a massive, massive building, unmistakable. Around it is lots of open field that's sometimes used for parking or the Florida State Fair when it comes through in February. You see the birds head towards the amphitheater shell and go in to the shell rather than over or onto.
I look over to Stakes and tilt my head sideways with one of my ears flopping down in a questioning manner of whether or not we should go in and investigate closer.
Stakes dips her head and starts prowling over towards the chain link fence surrounding the amphitheater.
I follow her lead, and I am keeping an eye out for anything that could potentially spot us.
Give me a wits and awareness.
Six with a crit.
You don't hear anything at first, but the closer you get to the amphitheater, as soon as you reach the fence surrounding, you hear some movement coming from the shell itself. Not the sounds of flapping wings or birds, but dragging, shuffling movements.
Okay, my first question is, does Stakes seem to notice the sound?
Her head is pointed and her ears are turned in that direction.
Okay, good. Um, without wanting to get too much closer, I do want to activate my penumbral senses
Okay?
to see to see what exactly is going on here, outside of just my physical sight.
Sure. As you call upon the sense, the world blurs momentarily, becoming a photo negative over a photo. Roll me a wits and occult.
Three successes.
Looking to the other side, you can see that the Weaver is in full force here, as this building has been around for a very, very long time. So long, in fact, that it has left an impression on the Umbra. On the other side, however, there is a brilliant flash of lights and colors and sound, possibly leftover spiritual impressions from the many, many events that have happened here, concerts and otherwise. You can feel that energy still pulsing from the amphitheater as if it's sunk into the very foundation of the building. From this particular angle, you don't see anything else of note until you turn your gaze out into the field beyond, the field surrounding. Here, in patches all throughout the field, the ground is spoiled.
I get Stakes' attention and I lift my nose and kind of dip at several patches towards the field in different spots, indicating that there's something there. Multiple things.
She nods her head a few times, but then turns her focus back towards the amphitheater and starts moving along the fence.
I will follow.
Roll me another wits and investigation.
Four successes.
Eventually, she stops, and following her gaze, you see exactly what she was looking for: a break in the fence, where some of the chain link has started to peel and roll away. Stakes gets down on her belly and, in a wolfish army crawl, scoots her way under the fence.
I try my hardest not to smirk watching her do that, and I also get on my belly and shimmy my way through the little hole in the fence.
Dexterity and athletics. It is a very tight squeeze, and there are kind of sharp chain link edges.
That is two successes.
You get scratched a little bit by the chain link, taking 1 point of superficial damage, but not enough to make you stop, not enough to cause severe bleeding or anything of the sort, but it definitely is. It hurts a little bit. It's scraped.
Is that something that I'll be able to heal as we continue
Absolutely.
on? Okay.
Yeah, if you just make one rage check, you can regenerate it.
Okay, I'm gonna do that really quick.
Well, you'll have to do that in one of your supernatural forms.
Is my
Yeah,
Lupus form?
Lupus isn't a supernatural form.
Ah, yes, right. Yes, indeed. Indubitably, you're right.
As Stakes pops up on the other side, she starts moving around up and towards one of the entrances into the amphitheater. Stakes heads towards one of the doors on the side of the amphitheater building and hops up and starts pawing at the handle to the door.
Does she seem to be struggling to get it?
At the moment, yes. She, in fact, misses several times.
I will sneak up behind her and shift back really quick. And like give her a little reassuring pet before opening the door.
She lets out a frustrated whine as she paws up at the ruined side of her face. But as you reach for the door handle and give it a turn, you see that it's locked.
I give Stakes a little sympathetic nod and indicate that it's locked. And I either want to try and I want to try and break in quietly, but I don't have any lock picking tools on me. So I want to try and like force the lock without just throwing it wide open, if that makes any sense.
Okay. In perhaps your Glabro form, with the little extra strength, you're pretty sure you could give a nice yank and possibly break the lock if you really get a good focus on it and pull. But you could possibly do so silently, assuming there's no alarm to go off.
Okay, I will change into Glabro form and do that really quick. Let me do the rage check. I did not pass that, so I go down to 1 rage.
As you grow in size, filling out your clothing a bit more, growing a little bit taller, you grab a hold of the door and give it a yank. Give me a strength and athletics.
That is going to be a whopping 4 successes, but it's a crit.
It's good enough. You hear the lock crack and break as you pull the door open. You hear a beep as if a alarm is attached to the door, but it doesn't trigger. The alarm is currently deactivated. It just notified that the door was opened, but nothing, only in the immediate vicinity. As you pull the door open, you find that you are in a maintenance hallway corridor for the amphitheater. Stakes, wasting no time, slithers her way in and, taking a big sniff, starts heading down the hallway in a specific direction.
I would like to change back into lupus form and follow her.
Do you want to regenerate before you changed?
Yes, actually, I do want to do that.
It is a rage check, and if you fail, you will lose the wolf.
I did not fail.
Now, you could also howl at the moon and gain a rage back if you wanted to, as you have not this evening.
I will save that
Okay.
because I do not want us to be found or heard by anything right now.
Okay. So as the scrapes along your side close up with the focus of regeneration, you then drop down to all fours, shifting into your lupus form. As you follow behind Stakes, you find that she makes a couple of turns before she reaches a stairwell, and she starts prowling up the stairs.
I'm still following her. I'm letting her take the lead on this. I know that it is good for her, but I'm also still just keeping an eye out on everything. And actually, can I do an insight check on her? See if she's like, calm or if she's nervous or full of anxiety, impatient, etc.
Sure. Give me a wits and insight. Actually, because of her shape, give me a wits and animal, Ken.
Yeah. It's the same amount either way. Four successes.
She is making a beeline. She is focused and intense, and you can tell she's a little bit aggravated by the fact that her hair is standing up a little bit more along her back. She is definitely in a looking for a fight mode.
Okay. I will keep that in mind as we go along. And I just still continue to make sure that, we're not being followed or seen.
So far, using the same awareness score as before, you don't notice any movement, any sounds of anyone coming near you, nothing. As you follow the staircase up, eventually you get to the top of about 3 floors. She stops at another door, and this time she leaps up and paws at it, and it opens, as the lock seems to be on the inside, not the outside. She pushes the door open, and you find another hallway leading along a row of skyboxes that look down upon the amphitheater itself. She immediately starts heading towards one of the doors of the skyboxes, which is already open.
I want to get in front of her and I want to do a little a look through before we just enter into this area.
Okay. Peeking into the skybox that she was headed for, you don't see anything inside. In fact, it looks like one of those skyboxes that's empty at the moment because nobody has purchased this particular skybox. Maybe it's one that they, loan out for events or rent out for specific events. But it does look like a standard setup. It looks like they have a buffet table off to one side, some seating, including some nice couches, and then across a doorway that leads to the seats that look down on the amphitheater.
After I'm done looking around, I nod my head at her and let her lead again.
She pushes forward, moving through, almost heading directly for the seats, not even stopping to look at anything else in the room. She hits the doorway and pushes through into the seats. Following behind, as soon as you enter into the private skybox area that's walled off away from the rest of the seats connected to the other skyboxes around, that's when the noises become very apparent and clear. As down in the amphitheater, you see several shuffling masses as various infected move along the amphitheater rows purposefully.
I stop and I softly sneeze at her.
She turns her head and looks, and there is a hardness in her eyes. With your penumbral senses still active, focusing on stakes and not anything else, you see that she is not alone. And that riding alongside her, or maybe in her shadow, is a wolf, but not the wolf. Something shaped like a wolf, shadow shaped like a wolf, with burning red eyes. Roll me an intelligence and occult for more information.
Bro, that's 5 successes with a crit.
As you study the shape of the shadow, you notice that there is a rage bane attached to her. It's not in her. She's not a Fomori, but it's definitely influencing her actions right now.
As I see this entity and recognize it as a bane, my nostrils flare and I glare at something very obviously next to her, but it is definitely a severe, probably one of the harshest gazes I've ever given towards her.
Give me a manipulation and intimidation.
That's a whopping 1 success.
She ignores you entirely and heads out into the seats.
I give a soft growl.
You can try to do a charisma and persuasion, but the spirit attached to her does not seem bothered at all by your action so far.
So 1 fucking success. All right, I guess we're doing this. The dice are telling us a story. I'm not gonna let her go in alone.
So as you follow in to the seats, you see that she stops in the skybox, staring down, taking sight or taking note of all of the creatures moving around on the inside. You see her lips peel back from her teeth as she lets out a soundless growl. She then leaps out of the skybox silently down to the row beneath it.
And now I know what it feels like. I just mentally prepare myself for what I'm about to have to do. And I quietly hop down next to her.
Give me a dexterity and stealth.
Can I spend a willpower to
Mhm.
reroll? Thank you. Three successes.
Okay. Leaping down below, you do find yourself making a little bit more noise than she did on your landing, but then taking stock of the situation around you, it wasn't loud enough to alert any of the creatures. Stakes then goes towards the stairs that lead down deeper into the amphitheater, down towards the creatures, and starts snaking her way downward.
Are there more there than there were that one night in the condominium
Yes,
complex? Oh no.
there are about 12 of varying shapes too. Some have this like potted plant coming out of their chest, others are multiple limbs and larger in shape.
I would like to catch up with her and pull on her tail with my mouth, like yank her tail back with my teeth.
Okay. Give me a strength and brawl.
Six with a crit.
Biting down, you get a good grip of her tail and yank, to which she spins around facing you, her eyes full of anger and fury as she just snaps in your direction, not actually making contact or biting down on you, but as like a warning snap.
I look at her with all of the softness and love that I feel for her. And I shake my head no at her, and I lick her muzzle.
Give me a charisma and persuasion and add an additional die.
Three successes.
Because of the dots the pack has in Mentor for stakes, you see her snuff and blink a few times after you lick her muzzle, and then her eyes have softened and changed back into the normal kind of gaze that she has, or her eye, I should say. She blinks a few times, looking about as to where you are and what's going on, and she nods to you, taking her head back up the stairs.
I also nod and let my tongue roll out of my mouth a little bit lazily, giving as much of a smile as I can, glad to have her back. Having quickly realized this is going to be a death sentence. So, I turn around and start climbing back up.
Okay, give me another dexterity and stealth.
Four successes.
The two of you are easily enough able to follow the path you made in here and snake your way outside of the building, heading back towards the chain link fence and out the gap in the fence. As you're moving out into the field, roll me a dexterity and athletics -2.
Two successes.
As you're going to run across the field, suddenly you feel your back paw get caught as a hand reaches up out of the ground, grabbing your paw and yanking back. At this point, behind both you and Stakes, a human-looking figure emerges, wearing a plaid shirt and jeans, with claws extended on its hand and a strange growth on the side of its face as its fangs have extended outward. Declare your first intention as we're in combat.
Did it do any damage?
No, it just stopped you from being able to retreat.
Okay.
It does have you grappled, though.
Would I have the opportunity to change into Hispo form and then bite it?
If you do make the change, if you don't have quick shift, you will be at a -2 penalty for your attack, but you can.
Okay, that's okay. I can deal with that. I would like to shift into Hispo then and go and lunge.
Okay. Shifting into Hispo, you become the massive, muscular wolf. Large, with ferocious jaws and fangs and claws on your paws. Go ahead and make your strength and brawl attack as you try to snap at it. Now, remember, you're at a -2.
Yep, so I don't put in my bonus this time. 5 with a crit.
Okay. As you bite down, you are able to cause him to release his grip on you. He goes to swing with his other hand with the claws, but they manage to just whiff over your head as you bite down, and he pulls back. At this point, Stakes has spun around and also shifted into her Hispo form. You can see that fire returning to her eyes. Or to her eye. Poor girl.
Seeing that, I yip at her. I would like to communicate that we need a live specimen. That we can't kill him. We have to bring him back.
Okay. Go ahead. What else would you like to do?
I want to incapacitate him. However, I can do that.
Go for another strength and brawl as you go to attack, using your paws and claws to try and knock him down or rake across him.
4 successes.
Okay. As you go to leap and pounce, a burning, stinging sensation hits as he buries both of his claws into your sides and then almost suplexes you back onto the ground, doing 4 points of superficial damage as he smashes you down on the ground. Stakes, who also comes running in, trying to do an attack, gets kicked in the side of the face, causing her to go whirling off. Declare your next intention. He isn't keeping a hold of you with the claws. He's just suplex and then remove.
Okay. I snarl in pain as the claw marks just get immediately bloody and splatters across my fur. And I would like to, I can regenerate as kind of like a bonus action.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to attempt to do that.
Okay. Toss a rage.
I do pass the rage check.
Okay. So you do heal 1 superficial.
Yep. Let me do that really quick. And then I would like to go in for another strike, and this time I would like to add Raging Strike to it.
Okay.
Does that count if I specify a bite? Can I still use Raging Strike with that, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's just on your next attack.
Okay. Okay.
I don't
So
believe
maybe
it's
the rage strike?
specifically a claw attack.
Okay. So I pass the rage check again for that for Raging Strike, so I get the bonus for it. But yes, I would like to specifically bite to do that extra aggravated damage.
Okay. Take the roll.
Has my rage gone up at all during this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Your rage is at a 3 now, or at a 2.
Or at a 2 because I went
Yeah,
down.
because you're at
low.
1, so you're at a 2 from taking the damage.
Seven with a crit.
Okay. As you go to bite down, you do manage to catch one of his limbs and bite down upon it, burying your teeth into it. Meanwhile, Stakes also leaps from the other side and gets caught by his claws, and he yanks her in and bites down upon her. As he does so, you see yellowish kind of fluid start to get in with her blood as he bites.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. My eyes widen seeing that, and I growl with just pure fucking rage. And am I still bit down?
Yeah. I mean, it's up to you, unless you just wanted to do a single bite.
I want to pull it off.
Okay.
I want to just yank it as hard as I can and just rip the entire limb off.
All right, give me another strength and brawl. I'll give you an extra dice because you are already attached.
11 with 2 crits.
Easily enough, you tear the arm completely from the socket off of his body. He lets out a shriek of pain as he releases Stakes, chucking her out into the field beyond. She goes quite a distance, as if it's like a football throw. At this point, he, without his arm, starts to turn and run.
Absolutely the fuck not. Absolutely the fuck not. I'm on him. This motherfucker is not getting away. So I would like to leap onto him and either go for a leg or go for his other arm.
Okay, give me a strength of brawl.
I would like to use Raging Strike with this.
Sure.
I passed my rage check. That's another 7 of the crit.
Okay, as you go to leap onto him and attach to him, he wheels around and blocks your attack with a sweeping motion of his arm, sending you sprawling off to the side. No damage exchanged on either side, but he does manage to avoid your attack. At this point, you see him starting to sink into the ground.
No. I'm not letting this happen. Absolutely the fuck not.
Okay, go again.
Once again, adding Raging Strike. I do not pass that one.
Okay, so you're down to 1 rage.
Seven successes.
As you go to leap on him, you just find nothing but air as he sinks into the ground beneath you.
I just fucking smash my paw into the ground. I'm so angry, but I don't allow myself to get lost into it. And I look back and see if Stakes is okay.
Looking out further into the field, you can see you can see her body rolled out onto the ground, like about 70 or 80 yards from you.
Can I continue to use my penumbra senses to avoid the spots that are...
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. As you head out in that direction, maneuvering around the corrupted bits of ground beneath you, you eventually get to her side. You arrive just in time to see her shifting back into her Hamid form and reaching into her pocket. At this point, she pulls out a dagger made of some sort of metal and jams it into the bite wound on her throat. And you can start to see sizzling coming from the bite wound.
I help press it in deeper to make sure that all of the toxin gets destroyed.
Give me a dexterity and medicine.
Three successes.
Okay. With your assistance, you see the burning, smoking continue for a little bit until it stops. She then yanks the dagger out, and you can see that most of the pointed edge is gone. It's melted down, almost to like a nub of a blade. She then drops back on the ground, panting heavily. The wound is still very gross and disgusting, like it is ripped open flesh, but there doesn't seem to be any traces of the yellow fluid substance there.
Would it be possible for her to climb on my back in my Hispo form so that I can get us out of here?
Yeah, that would work. So as you kind of nuzzle down to her, she wraps an arm around your neck and slides her way on your back, and you take off across the field away from the amphitheater. As you do, you hear the sounds of the earth rumbling as from the patches that you had managed to avoid, creatures start to emerge, but they are too slow in their transition to catch up with you as you book it out of the amphitheater and out into the woods beyond. What's going through your mind after this encounter at the amphitheater?
Oh shit. Oh fuck. Fuck. Just ruined everything. I just fucked up everything. I shouldn't have let her go in there. Why did I let her go in there? I thought this would be good for her, but here she is losing her goddamn mind and a Bane's fucking attached to her? Are you fucking kidding me? God fucking damn it. Is this what it's like to be a fucking mom? Holy fucking shit. How the tables have fucking tabled. A lot of frustration and anxiety.
Okay. As you escape out into the woods, this is where our story comes to a close this evening. But not without one last scene. Deep in the bowels of a concrete building, in dark corridors with barred cells, we come upon a figure strung up in one of the cells. A woman, thin but muscular, her long, almost auburn hair hanging down, blood coming from several wounds on her body that don't seem to heal. We then hear a key turn and the cell open, and a young man's voice say, "Look, nephew, you could do this too." As we see the brother of Forged from Failures carrying Cooper on his hip, entering into the cell. You can cause pain too. And with that, he reaches into his belt, drawing out a silver knife and jamming it into the side of Aaron, who lets out a pained scream. And this is where our story comes to a close. Thank you so much to these amazing players. Thank you to everybody for watching. Go enter into our Halloween giveaway. It ends tomorrow, and you do not want to miss out on that prize pack. Also, stay tuned to St. Pete by Night, because we've got Rage Across Tampa over on Twitch on Tuesday, and we'll be back with our beloved Hellhounds next Friday here on YouTube. Go follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media, and come join our community by following that Discord link. For these amazing players, I'm Kent. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.